judgment. The Electoral Act 73 of 1998, parts of it have been declared unconstitutional as it relates to independent candidates contesting national and provincial elections. It is no doubt an historic judgment. The operation of the judgment has been suspended for 24 months. As you heard from Natasha Piri speaking to a number of people, they're getting reaction that I guess the politics, so says Musi Maimane, the politics of this country will need to radically change. What does this all mean with regards to the 2024 national elections? The 2021 local government elections coming up, but this, as I said before, the operation of this judgment has been suspended for 24 months. But what sort of bearing will it have, if any, with regards to the 2021 elections? Okay, I want to get more reaction now and bring in Sai Mamabolo, the Chief Electoral Officer of the Electoral Commission. Mr. Mamabolo, thank you very much indeed for your time. Your reaction, sir, to this judgment?
Well, the Electoral Commission operates on the understanding that the act of interpreting the Constitution is an important edifice of our whole constitutional structure. So we do welcome that exercise of interpreting the Constitution by the judiciary. In this particular case, we've noted the decision of the Constitutional Court. We've noted that in interpreting Section 19(3)(b), reading that together with Section 18 on the freedom of association, the ineluctable conclusion the court reached was that it does in fact provide for independent candidates to be elected for purposes of national and provincial elections. So we've noted the judgment. We've also taken note of the fact that Parliament now has 24 months to remedy the constitutional defect. So we will be working together with Parliament. We stand ready to assist Parliament in undertaking a review as may be necessitated by this judgment. Of course, this would have very serious operational implications for the Electoral Commission, as well as the infrastructure that has been built over the past 24 months. So the country would be brave for a huge investment in systems in order to accommodate the operational implications of this decision.
Mr. Mamabolo, before we go any further, I just want to get it crystal clear with regards to the Electoral Act. Is the whole Act thrown out the window, or just parts that deals with independent candidates?
No, the only portion of the Act that is declared as constitutional is one that relates to the electoral system.
All right.
And the rest of the Act remains constitutionally compliant. So it is that component that deals with the electoral system that will be reviewed by Parliament within a duration of 24 months. And as I indicated, as a Commission, we stand ready to work with Parliament, give Parliament necessary advice, because we are the technical body that bears the knowledge and expertise relative to electoral systems.
Right. I just want to tell our viewers what they're watching now is the funeral service of Tsekofatso Pule. Now, as we in conversation with Sai Mamabolo with regards to our breaking news, the parts of the Electoral Act 73 of 1998 declared unconstitutional. So, Mr. Mamabolo, what would this new electoral system look like? Because immediately your mind goes to what's happening in the United States in terms of an individual can stand for the president of the United States. Can an individual now stand for presidency for the president of South Africa? How would it work?
Look, the judgment has not dealt with the presidential election. The judgment deals with whether individuals could, in their own right, stand for election into the National Assembly as well as provincial legislatures. Of course, Parliament would be within the remit of Parliament to review the manner in which the president is elected, should it be minded to do that.
Right.
So the whole electoral system, we really have got to come under review given this decision. But looking at the judgment in a more technical sense, it did not address the system of electing the president. It limited its attention to how members of the National Assembly are elected, as well as members of provincial legislatures.
Right. Just to be perfectly clear, when I said individual, I meant independent candidates standing for president. Sir, I want you to stand by. We need to say goodbye to our SABC 3 viewers. Thank you very much indeed for spending your morning with us. If you have access to SABC News channel, stick around. I'll get you more news on this breaking news story next. All right, we're in conversation with Sai Mamabolo now. Sir, thank you very much indeed for staying with us. So, given the operation of this judgment has been suspended for 24 months, what happens now? What's the process?
Well, the authority to adopt an electoral system for the country is Parliament. And the reason for that is that Parliament is the representative body of all the people.
Mr. Mamabolo, do you still have you there?
It's a malfunction.
Sorry, we just lost you, but I think
Yes,
it's important if you just repeat that last part, sir.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that Parliament is the authority that is better placed to deal with the determination of an electoral system for the country. And the reason for that is that it's a body of all people. And it is also a multi-party body, and therefore is better placed to determine the electoral system for the country.
Right.
So there is remitted to Parliament. We, as an electoral commission, have a huge role to play because we bear the technical expertise relating to elections and electoral systems. So we stand ready to support Parliament in its endeavor to grapple with the implications of this judgment.
You know, with regards to changing this electoral system, do you envisage it's going to be a difficult task, a costly task, given the circumstances?
There is no doubt, certainly, that this is going to be a difficult task, in the sense that if Parliament is to give effect, as it should really, constituencies must be drawn. We've got to determine how many constituencies the country will have. So there has to be an independent mechanism to determine the constituencies.
Right.
We've got to invest in new systems.
It seems that we have
systems,
such...
because
yes,
our systems, internet. Can you still hear me?
We're
our
very, very
internal
difficult.
systems
But finish your last thought, sir.
I'm saying our internal systems have always been predicated on delivering an electoral system which is based on a party list, i.e. proportional representation system. So a new wave of investment would have to be made by National Treasury to accommodate the new reality.
Yeah, a lot of work needs to be done in this next 24 months. Thank you very much indeed for your time and your perspective. Sai Mamabolo, the Chief Electoral Officer of the Electoral Commission. Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's get more reaction now. I understand we got Pulemabe on the line, ANC spokesperson. Sir, your reaction?
Morning to your viewers. This judgment has just been made. The African National Congress will need to study the judgment and understand all of the issues that are stated in there, so that when it files commentary out in the public, it has fully appreciated all of the issues that shall have been ventilated upon.
On the face of it, though, given that independent candidates can now contest in terms of national and provincial elections, as a party, are you worried?
Hence, we are saying that we need to study the judgment, familiarize ourselves with the facts, so that when we file comments out in the public, we have understood all of the issues. It would be unfair for us to express either a worry or no worry when we have not fully understood the content of the judgment itself.
What do you think, though, this would mean for South African politics in general?
Well, it's interesting times ahead. Hence, it's important to study the judgment, understand the facts, and then be able to relate with this thing on the basis of being fully informed.
All right, Mr. Mabe, let's leave you to go and study that judgment. We'll have you back on the program and get more with regards to the ANC's reaction to this historic judgment handed down by the Constitutional Court. Pule Mabe, thank you. All right, so we're going to take a quick break.